Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. Saturday, you were informed via Cuckoo and Flying Fish that two doctors from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital got into a fight. Dr. Harris, Anthony Harris, and Dr. Nicholls, Christopher Nicholls. And the nation talks about them being both on suspension until the internal probe is done. But this is the right up here. It's done in a real funny way. It talks about a twist boxy guy. One of them had a twist bottom. Let me read it to you. Licks were flying like Bruce Lee in a movie. The staff stood in shock as two medicine men, two doctors, one of whom was panting heavily. So one was out of shape, one was probably older. Let me go over here. Maybe it was him, the older, I don't know. Was it Harris that was panting? And I'm not sure if this one here is Christopher Nicholls. How could you go through the internet and not have him pop up right away? Okay, but the doctor at the hospital that was in the fight is alleged he is Chris Nicholls and Anthony Harris. Anyhow, let's go through. They're saying that the other was not known for his abilities in the karate arena, but more of more of a pelt waist man. I don't know, I said twist boxy, I don't know where I got that from, but he operated on his colleague with a straight right as fists of fury were thrown with surgical precision. Those witnessing the melee said they anticipated that either could have suffered a heart attack at any moment. I mean, it was so bad. Staffers screamed for security, and the officers got there in the nick of time as they watched in awe two doctors at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital fighting like animals. As some ran for cover, tables crumbled under the weight of the scene, comparable to, Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, rumble, tumble, that kind of stuff. But stay tuned, because the Nation News is saying that they understand that there's an internal probe, and both men have been given time to heal. So have they been sent on leave? But this is really a shame when you could find two doctors in the hospital fighting, actually like dogs, just fighting over what? Was it a lover's quarrel? Was it something to do with a patient? Why were these two doctors fighting? Okay, why were they fighting? Christopher Nicholls, and Anthony Harris. Christopher Nicholls and Anthony Harris. Why were they fighting on the job, not even on their own time off? They were fighting allegedly. It's here in the paper. It made the paper that they were fighting on the job. Two doctors at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital fighting on the job. One with a twist boxy, and the other one, I don't know what other terms they described the other one, but one had a twist bottom, and the other one was almost ready to have a heart attack because one was panting, so one was out of shape, maybe the older one. But you need to find out the people that you pay at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. It's not a private hospital, so taxpayer money is going into that hospital to pay these doctors. You need to find out who or why. We know who. We have two names, but why were they fighting? And recently, a nurse nurses were injured at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. You guys need to get yourselves together, pull things together there, because you know, when the nurses are not being injured by a patient, then you have the doctors fighting with each other, breaking up equipment and whatever else they're breaking, you know, desks or whatever else that, you know, you guys need to really get a hold of the situation that's happening there in Barbados, because you can't tell the kids nothing. You can't tell the block boys nothing. You can't tell the bike boys nothing. You can't tell nobody nothing when your doctors are actually reducing themselves to an all-out brawl because they cannot work together, they cannot organize together, they cannot simmer their anger, they cannot sit at a table and discuss the issues. They had to fight like dogs right there on the job. They fought like dogs on the job. You need to find out what happened. In no hush hush. In no hush hush. This is not a private hospital. They're being paid with your taxpayer money. Okay? It's a public hospital. It's a free hospital for the most part. You need to find out why they were fighting, okay? This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.